what the Shovel Show represents. And it's going to continue to represent as we continue to evolve and y'all evolve with us. So please continue to tell a friend to tell a friend to tell a friend. You know what I'm saying? That's a music lover. And about this music, this is what we bring in. Salute to everybody in the check-in. You know what I'm saying? Coming in. You know what I'm saying? There's much love. So let's get into it. Episode 3.
Episode 3.
Who we going with first?
Man, let's go hit you off first. Let's go get into the artist, man.
Okay. Well, we're gonna get to the man, the myth, the legend, who will continue to live on in his music, and he's to me, he's somebody who really embodies a musicianship and just the whole artistry. He's one of one. He's one of those ones, you know. He came in the game with his own sound, continue to grow with his own sound. And we're going to go with Prince, you know, saying none other than the brother Prince, you know. You know, for me, it's a few albums, man, that he's got, and even songs from his contributions, even as a producer, a writer, some of the stuff some people don't know, he was behind, from Controversy all the way up to his latest stuff before he passed. He just, even his unreleased stuff, I always heard, you know, a lot of his unreleased joints, you know, but when it comes to albums, man, and I was trying to think of what would be my next one as far as we were going to the pop genre, more so the pop aspect for this episode. I was going between Purple Rain soundtrack and then his album. Yeah, oh man, Sign of the Times. And Sign of the Times is one of my favorite from Prince. You know what I'm saying?
Likewise.
Yeah, it came out March 31st in '87, and he just this year they released the remastered version of it, where it's like, I don't know how many tracks. It's like different versions. It's 7 volumes. It's 7 volumes worth of the regular album, the original, some rare mixes, extended mixes, instrumentals, and Signs of the Times, man, is so powerful because this is when Prince was ending with the whole band, the Revolution. This was his last album with the Revolution. Just knowing the whole imagery part, we all know with his music, it was Prince, but he had his, you know, he was playing all the instruments. When we go to do his shows, he had his band, you know, to really kind of reflect and take it there and bring the reality to it and bring in a wonderful experience. You know what I'm saying?
That also furthers the showmanship.
Yeah. Shouts out to the Doctor. Shouts out to Wendy and what's the other one? I forgot the other one who be on the keys.
Man. Can't forget Sheila E, baby.
Yeah, oh man, can't forget Sheila E. Like Prince was so, he was so connected and into the music, as far as the music industry, just bringing a sound that was his own, very synthetic, very organic, man. And Signs of the Times, for him to end it on that, it's one of those albums, man. It's still relevant. It still sounds fresh. You know, he still has a sound that,
man, that doesn't have a shelf.
Right.
That's what music is, man. Real music don't, you know what I'm saying, man? It don't expire, man. You know?
And it's so many layers to him, man, because all the songs had messages. Some songs with stories, some songs was, you know what I'm saying? It was catchy. He the way he had all of those colors, all the colors, you know what I'm saying? To his music, to this day, it's still like mind-boggling, man. And he still did it effortlessly. And he was a different person when he wasn't on the, you know, outside of the music, or when you catch him on the camera. At that time, Prince was real reserved, real kind of shy. But it was just like a light switch when he get in the stage, and you know what I'm saying, he get it going. And it was just like a ticking time bomb, grooving time bomb. But this album, man, you got the tracks. I was gonna go with the highlights, man. I mean, the whole album, really. I go back.
Yeah, man.
I mean, and this was the time just before he kind of went into his whole situation with Warner Brothers, where he started turning into doing his albums as going under the artist, as the artist formerly known as. But man, my joints, you know, if I was your girlfriend, Door. Then he had the heavy joint on there called The Cross.
Yeah.
Man, he got so many, man. The way the album
for me, man, like Adore, to end the album with that track. And you know, because it was almost like a hidden track, you know what I'm saying? If you got too ahead of yourself, you would have turned the album off because you would have thought that it was over.
Right.
Because you heard like the live audience going into that record. So,
right.
Yeah, man. It was
and then you got to think about it at that time too. The experience of albums was mainly cassettes. This was around the time because CDs ain't really start popping with 91.
Man, CDs started popping in like early 90s, man. Like I was saying 1990, 91.
91. So this is still.
I remember, man, like the Strictly Business movie soundtrack CD was among the first CDs ever made. So that's
Vanilla Ice, Hammer. It's like the first CDs.
Yeah, first CDs. Yeah, ever.
And so now you think about it in that aspect, man. The cassette, the whole experience. Even if you had the song title, a lot of times if you had the tape or somebody might have dubbed it or whatever, so you really got the experience because it's playing. This time we didn't have the skip. You didn't have nothing where you can skip the song or go back. You had to fast forward or rewind. You know what I'm saying? And I'm sure it was a lot of pauses. A lot of times people was pausing the tape to be like, and a lot of rewinding back because because Prince was ahead of his time, man. And I go back and I listen to a lot of songs, man, and you can, you know, every song, every type of music has feeling, but it's certain levels of feeling that's put into it. Depends on the artist. And Prince he comes from that where when you hear certain stuff, you could feel it. It really had a feeling. It had a vibe, and it could be an emotional vibe. It's an emotional roller, like, and he had stuff you could relate to, and he was still his own unique way, his own unique style, and just to know that he was
conveying everything he was feeling. Yeah, way to convey it to you, you know.
Right. Through instruments, period.
Even if he wasn't a big Prince fan, you know, you still respected what he brought to the table, you know, and I think that's the difference between an artist and a great artist,
right?
Because a lot of people, you know, fully realize what Prince was before he passed. You know what I'm saying, man? You know, for him to be on stage with Tom Petty and other legends. You know what I'm saying? Man, they gave him that guitar on stage, man. Prince got busy, you know what I'm saying? I mean, you know, he's just one of those figures that to me will never be replaced. And he's just a monumental figure to our culture, you know.
Right.
Man, he's one of the pillars, man. You know, that no matter how much time passes, I mean, I'm saying, just think, man, he was 19 when he put out his first record. I'm saying he was 1979.
Crazy.
You know, and the music exec, Prince actually told him, hey, I'm going to play all my, I'm playing all the instruments. And like the exec was like, what? No, no. You know, and Prince was like, yeah, man, I'll show you. So he went to go play every instrument, track by track, put it all together, and gave it to the exec. Was just like mouth open, you know, couldn't believe what was transpiring, man, in his face. So, you know, that's how you know, man, you got something special.
Very special.
Man, he was a special person, man.
Special and rare, man. Because even if you look back on those songs, man, and he was doing his own background vocals, so
that's heavy.
It's a lot of dedication. It's a lot of artists. Don't get me wrong. In between these few decades, within his timing, that we got to see some of that. And I salute somebody like Ryan Leslie, brother like Ryan Leslie, who as far as behind the scenes, his groundwork, and he even aside just from his hustle, because he's an intelligent brother. He got other ventures and things going on, but when it comes to the music, man, he was one of the ones that I could see kind of really keeping it alive. How just his whole showmanship and how he did all his instruments and the whole sound, just kind of like being a perfectionist. And
yeah. Like the one for me, man, that like I really think was directly influenced by him, man, and it shows to this day. Man, for me, man, it's like D'Angelo.
Yeah, D'Angelo.
I mean, his presence and his not willingness. He has a desire to play every instrument and to challenge himself every record that he puts out. And for me, man, like D'Angelo is probably the most organic artist that we got living right now, if you ask me personally. Still take it there.
Of that breed too.
Of that breed. Because we got a lot of producers that can still get down in the studio, still come out, hit them on, the microphone, bless them with vocals, but let's be real, man. There's not too many people that can go in there, lay down, guitars, drums, all different kinds of melodies, man, and still come back to the mic and make it sound good, man. Like D'Angelo, man, hands down.
Yeah, shouts out Raphael Sadiq too.
Raphael Sadiq too. That's another one.
He's another one. But with Prince, man, every time you go back and listen to him, it's a different experience. Or even a better experience if it was something that you go back to and you find yourself back in that zone. Signs of the Times, it does it for me, man. It does it for me.
Yeah.
He has a lot of
the title track.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Sign of the Times. The title is powerful.
Man, when you just go back and listen to some of the lines that he was saying in the record, it was like, Hurricane Andy Rich killing at the church, killing everyone inside. Just look at how powerful these hurricanes been just this year alone.
That's what I'm saying.
Still relevant, man.
These are
man, and then you still got these young kids out here, man, with the mentality of, going out here, man, and getting into the drug trade and the gangs and all this stuff. Prince had, Prince was like, getting in the gang called the Disciples, high on crack, poking the machine gun. Come on. These are true lyrics that just don't have the urge to die. These are just monumental records, man.
Real profound, man. They resonate. That album is even very important in these times. And another person that makes me think of Prince too when I see him is Stokely from In Condition. His whole energy. A lot of people who witnessed that energy for the first time, seeing Stokely being a singer, but seeing how he can move and how he can play the guitar and he can kill it on the drums. They just don't know where his inspiration come from. You know what I'm saying? If you don't know about Prince,
man, Mint Condition was so special, man.
Man, that's a whole other story.
They're
one-on-one. They're probably still one of the dopest bands. They could still do a show. I seen them 3 times, man, in Chicago. And them brothers, man, they never cease to amaze.
The records, from 91 up until now, it's like they refuse to put out something whack. I don't get it, man. It's like everything always sounds crisp, it sounds fresh, sounds important,
Right, and it's still them. They're not trying to sound like nobody else, but it's still them. They find a way.
Man, one of my favorite tracks from them, man. One of my favorite tracks from In Condition is on the Mo Money soundtrack called My Dear.
Man.
It's produced by Jimmy Jam and Terry Lewis. Man. Whew. That
More
Russell
Money
Brand,
soundtrack, period, man. We talk. It's too much talk, man. It's too much talk. Because the whole
yeah,
flight time, Jimmy Jam, Terry Lewis.
Babyface, shout out to that whole
That's that.
movement. That whole movement was crazy, man. I mean, the amount of music that Babyface, L.A. Reid, and Jimmy Jam and Terry Lewis made together. Man, they need to do a versus, dog. To be honest.
Yeah, that's what I was
They
thinking.
need to
That's what I was
do
thinking. It should have been that way. It should have been that way. I respect Teddy. You know what I'm saying? The Teddy Riley versus Babyface. That was dope. But I even had, before they did that, when I was getting back into my mixing, and I made a couple of mixes. I had made the Jimmy Jam, Terry Lewis versus Babyface mix, just to put like the certain songs together that they contributed to, the different groups. You know what I'm saying? And you know, they was even at a time when they was part of The Time, who was, you know what I'm saying? Under the umbrella of Prince, and Prince was doing a lot of the productions of they first first two albums, and then they ended up Prince. I heard it was rumored that Prince was the reason that they got removed from The Time, because he seen what they were doing with Janet.
Yeah.
When they started working with Janet and creating a sound, he knew they had something, and it wasn't like a envious thing, but it was just like, okay, they doing their thing. But that was Prince. That was Prince, like finding his way in the, you know what I mean? And the cut.
Prince always, man, I remember a Jam was telling a story about Prince, saying how instrumental he was in just not saying much, but saying exactly what needed to be said.
Right.
And that is pretty much what gave birth to Jimmy Jam and Terry Lewis, because when they exited, it wasn't anything that was, you know, saying tumultuous. It wasn't like folks beefing or anything like that.
Right.
Tom still wanted to do great things, man. They put out some good albums after that.
Yeah.
You know, but you knew that Jimmy Jam and Terry Lewis was coming, and that they were going to be the next big production team. And man, when they got with Janet, it was
there was a force. You knew there was a force to be reckoned with, and I think Prince knew that.
Control Itself, that album itself, because Janet Jackson's debut album, because Control wasn't her debut album.
It was
a lot of people it is, but it's not.
Wasn't the first album self-titled? Wasn't it just Janet Jackson?
Yeah. Her first album self-titled was a dud.
Yeah.
I mean, songwriting was terrible.
Right.
You know, mixing was terrible. I mean, everything was terrible. Right. And, you know, I'm a Janet Jackson fan. I'll tell you, it's terrible.
Me too.
But what that forced her to do was go get the next best sound. And she was in Minneapolis, man, for like a year and a half making that album. So, you know, the payoff to me, man, was and well worth it, because when you got Jimmy Jam and Terry Lewis focusing on just you creating the sound just for you, man, you better run with that, man. And that's what she did, and she still has them on album to this day. So, you know that's a testament to what they do. You know, that's a testament. To what they do. You know? Oh yeah, and I'm always looking for them. Nobody, man, bro. Hear me on this. No other production crew would have been able to get the commercial success out of her than them two brothers.
No, because the chemistry. They had the chemistry. The chemistry. They always had the writing. They always had the productions, but I think they were looking for that person to get behind and kind of build and embark something special aside from what they do, you know, with other people, just as far as business wise, or whatever the energy is, who they connect with. But this was something that was their real organic, where they can kind of like this was their 1,000 piece puzzle they was able to put together and bring it to the people. Bring something timeless. You know what I'm saying? That's something that I think is a key factor. That's something that all new artists, and the known artists who are, you know, popular today should take heed to. The newcomers, that it's really about chemistry. Whoever you work with, you want to find somebody you can build and connect with. And I think that's what really goes on anyway for the songs now that come to be people's favorite songs for whatever new artist, whatever genre, whoever they work with, they have a relationship, they build some kind of chemistry where they can see where, okay, what can we come together with? What can we make that's special? And they probably go through a trial and error. Sometimes it's love at first sight, then they find something special. And I
That's right.
think, you know what I'm saying? So I think Prince is one of those persons, man, that one of the people that really embody that. He continues to embody that even with him, you know what I'm saying, not being here with us in the physical, you know. So I say long live Prince, you
Long
know,
live Prince, man. We love you, man.
one of the illest, man, you know, a true one of one. And this is not gonna be the last time y'all probably gonna hear anything about Prince on the Shovel Show. So
Right.
please
And
believe.
also, man, like man, before we exit Prince and Sign of the Times, man, I gotta shout out his contributions to Tevin Campbell's projects.
Oh man.
Man, what he was able to do with him, the sound that he was able to get out of him, man, that's another episode.
Tevin, man.
Tevin,
Tevin.
he had the potential to be the biggest thing musically, and I think there were a few things that kept his wings. When the Back to the World album came around, the promotion for it and just where music was headed, I think that stole his thunder because.
Yeah. I think he got caught up. He got caught up.
Because Bad Boy was up and running,
Right.
you know, and they pretty much dominated hip hop and R&B, and like a lot of other artists, man, were just coming up, man, with the urban sound, and like I think he just got lost in the shuffle.
Sadly, man.
But his I'm Ready album, I thought it should have did way better than that, man. Like the numbers really did, man, because that was a powerful record, man. And had contributions from all the big producers. I mean, he had the potential to take it there. And I was more like, man, as far as the album holding up, the album holds up well. You know what I'm saying? Even to this day, but it's just for what reason or another, it just never took it to the next level, you know.
I think it was right. I think it didn't help too. Was a lot of stuff that was going on in the industry behind the scenes, because now it's something that it's even coming out. The woodworks, just if people really look into the lines and look between the lines, just certain artists such as Tevin, you know, it's kind of fishy how when things start. But that was around the time when things start changing, and it was just like who's behind you. You really kind of see what. They was going for the juggler or whatever was the next thing they were trying to get a hold on, and putting whoever to the side that wasn't fitting into the mold. And somebody like Tevin, he came up on making stuff that's special and to take time. You know what I'm saying, and not pop fits. So he kind of got caught in the commercial mix, I think, in the aspect with paperwork and business, aside from really being able to really be appreciated in his evolution.
Albums did that.
Yeah, and I think I'm pretty sure that was a lot to take. It took a toll on him as just a person, being the artist, and he went through what he went through, but it's a blessing to see him. I seen him on certain appearances doing some performances, but it's just it makes you think about what could have been. You know what I mean? And man, like Prince definitely contributed to him too. Some dopeness. And even having him on the Graffiti Bridge soundtrack. I thought about the Graffiti Bridge. That whole from the movie to the soundtrack. They were just playing the song on the radio the other day. Round Around. And
beautiful record, man. Beautiful record.
Crazy, man. But let's get into it, man. Let's go with yours. Let's talk about Sting.
The legend Sting. This was Sting's release once he departed from the group The Police. Man, Sting to me is probably one of the even though he has so much success behind his name, behind him as a solo artist, even him with the group, so many Grammy nominations. There were a few wins in there. he just has this mystery around him, even
Right.
to this day.
Yeah.
You know, and like I think it contributes um, to his success, and it's and it contributes to the songs that he writes and the songwriters that he invites in and producers that he invites into his project.
Right.
But we're gonna talk about Nothing Like the Sun, which is my second favorite album by Sting. My favorite Sting album is 10 Summoners Tale, but we're gonna talk about this album because I wanna we wanted to tackle an album in the 80s.
Right.
So this album was released 87, same year as Prince.
I didn't look at that. I didn't go back. I didn't know that. I went back and listened to the album because I never got to fully hear that whole album. It's Nothing Like the Sun.
Same year as Sign of the Times. And I'm gonna just talk about the notable records from the album. Fragile.
Wow, Fragile.
Which is probably one of the most quintessential records from the 80s, and the subject matter of the song still resonates with what we're dealing with today.
Right.
Just like just like some of the songs we were talking about from Sign of the Times. These songs they have life, and once it's going through the process of being recorded, and all the producers are in the room and all of the engineers are in the room, and they're making sure everything is compressed right, everything is notched down right, everything is placed where it needs to be placed. Then you come out and you have a finished product. That's what this album is to me.
Definitely.
It's a well composed story, and Fragile, man, like he went on to be one of the biggest songs of '87, and it also went on to be one of the most sampled songs among hip hop artists.
Exactly.
Sting has a way of making songs that hip hop heads love. And
I was thinking about that.
Songs, like a lot of Sting records, are in hip hop production's hands, being retooled to fit a different artist. I'm saying, Cameron, he sampled the record on his own Prophecy on his first album with Kelly Price.
Right.
Which is like a moving record, man. I still listen to that album, a few times a year, man.
Right.
Cameron there with that LP, man, and it's
yeah.
I always gotta go back and give homage, man, to the original songs that brought forth, so many samples that we love, and then to me, Sting has been able to stay relevant. Not with just this project, but just with his career, period. A few more songs from the album that actually made it to radio. Englishman in New York. That was a record that had a soulful vibe to it.
I was gonna say that. I was playing that. I was playing that heavy. Yes.
Because after Sting left the police, he was on a F Rock coalition. You know what I'm saying? He was really trying to get away from the image of being a rock and roll icon. He wanted to just be an icon, not just a rock icon, but an icon. And you can tell once he stepped away from the group that he was able to kind of bring out some of the blue-eyed soul that he had on his solo records.
Yeah. What you think he would consider his sound? What you think? Would you see it as? I never. I mean, because for me, I was really into him with the Police. Now, and that doesn't go against his solo work. You know what I mean? But their sound always, aside from being a hip hop fan, always was a huge new wave fan. As far as a lot of the new wave sound, because a lot of the new wave was really like, to me, futuristic soul. You know what I'm saying? In the aspect. You know what I mean? If you look at it, even where it meshed with the rock and the alternative. They really didn't want to have no name, no label, and I think when I listen to certain sounds, you know what I'm saying, even for example, like with the Police and Sting always had a profound sound. I could tell a lot of times he was inspired by Caribbean music. You know what I'm saying? I could hear it. I could kind of hear it in the sound. But he always, yeah, heavy. But he has his own sound. Like you said, he's one of those artists you can't. He's on his own time. He's on his own time. He always is going to have listeners. He's always going to have fans. He's always going to be current, and his music speaks volumes, just like you said, how we speak about as far as the artists that sample him, or kind of revisit what I wouldn't necessarily say sample, but you got something that want to kind of really revisit and see how he did his instrumentation on these certain songs and bring it to life for this generation, you know. So, but yeah, go ahead, Ferguson.
Yeah, man. You know, like to piggyback off what you were saying, man. You know, his style to me, you know, how some artists you can contribute to just one lane. You know, there's no deviation. You know, some artists, man, you already know what the album's gonna be about, man. You know, when they say they're in the studio recording the album, you like, word. I already know what it's gonna be like. I already know the structure of the album. He's like, damn, I already know what's coming. You know? That's the way it is these days, unfortunately.
Right. Pop culture wise. Yeah.
But Sting has been able to hit you with so many different genres in one project, and that's what Nothing Like the Sun was. You also have a song on the album called "They Dance Alone," which was a record that he wrote pertaining to young men going to the military and losing their lives, and their mothers are dancing with their spirits. You know what I'm saying? That's heavy.
That's heavy.
That's heavy, man. You know, and when you have, you know, in the same song when he's writing lyrics referring to you know, diplomatic leaders of certain countries and like the ills that they're putting on their people, and like you know, guns in the arms of the wrong people, you know, doing harm to people. You know, I mean, he just has such a vision for these things, you know, and music was his way to, you know, bring knowledge to the people's you know, hearts and minds, but to also you know, elevate people, and you know, the platform that he was so fortunate to use.
Right.
You know, and you know, you can tell every project that he does, man, he doesn't take anything for granted, and that's one thing that I love about him. You know, you know, even you know, his work with the Police, you know, it just how guarded he is over his work. If you sampling or revisiting a Sting record, trust me, you ain't getting no money in your pocket.
Right.
Because he's protective of his work and what he puts out. Man, go ask Puff if he got some money from I'll Be Missing You.
All right. Even the rapper, what's
Sauce
his name?
Money.
That Sauce too, and I'm thinking of the current rapper that had passed a couple years ago. One of the new rappers. That
you talk about the one that said Lucid Dreams.
Yeah, Lucid Dreams. Yeah. And that was man, and not to take away from the brother, but I remember when the first time I heard the song, because he's from Chicago.
Yeah.
And the first time I heard the song on the radio, and I was like, okay. And I seen how, you know what I'm saying, some family members reacted to it. Like some of the younger ones that was liking it. And they was like this, they just couldn't believe, like, it was a new sound, it was fresh. But I heard the sample in the back. And I'm like, okay, I see where he's going with it. Huh?
Yeah, man, that was Sting's, man, Shape of My Heart record.
Right. Yeah. And and the thing was, Sting didn't know nothing about this song until, because the song continued to blow. It continued to resonate. And then I think when he started doing shows, and then the video came out, and then he got signed. Because he had his own thing going on, his own music, his own label. He had nobody. He had a distribution behind, his own situation. And when that got into his hands, somebody kind of brought it to his attention. Then Sting got on that. Sting got on that immediately. But it worked. Right, it worked out where he still benefited from it, and they did their paperwork, and Sting's getting his money. And he could see how even that changing the dynamic as far as with this sound. I mean, it was all about business. So, of course, he's going to be a part of that. And they did it respectfully and did everything and handled everything properly, correctly, once it was addressed. But that kind of showed you where the situation was with a lot of artists that would go and try to revisit or take samples from somebody's song. And the timing that we are with music, where a lot of people is just, this stuff is happening and not nobody's really noticing. And that kind of takes away from the original artist. You know what I mean? If they're not getting it, just
music heads like us. And I'm saying, man, there's more music heads out there than us. They have a sound. You know what I'm saying? They have an ear for knowing where something came from, or saying, hey, you know what I'm saying? That don't sound authentic. You know what I'm saying, man? These cats ain't capable of putting something together that sounds fresh. You know what I'm saying? So we got to go like check out the album cover, look this, see what you're working with, because Sting, Shake My Heart record, man, put out. I'm saying, man, we translated into so many pop records.
So many, even Carl Thomas.
Yeah, man, the message.
Oh, the message. Come on, yeah.
Come on, man. Trap Masters, man. They laced that one, man.
Tone and Pope don't get their just due either, man. Tone and Pope come back with it.
I mean, shout out to Tone and Pope on the show. We showing y'all love because we love the work y'all brought to the culture.
Exactly.
We're gonna give you your flowers while you're here, man. You know what I'm saying? Thank y'all for y'all music.
That's what we about. We about giving the artists their flowers while they still here. You know what I'm saying? Letting it be known. If you know them and you witnessing the video, you becoming and you a part of the movement. You're a part of the Shuffle Show. You know what I'm saying? Where we either dig it or we been digging it. Then let it be known. Show it to them, because these artists is still, no matter wherever their popularity or their status or they stardom, they're humans first. And they are artists second, you know what I'm saying? Which really is first and foremost in the aspect when it comes to the music, you know what I mean? As far as in the forefront. So they look for that. You know what I'm saying? I think that's the humility in a true artist or a true musician. They even though they do it for the love, to kind of see the way it touched people, that's kind of what helps keep them going. So they might not necessarily, I think 9 times out of 10, a real artist is not going to be looking back into their old work. Once they put the notch in and they see it touch the people how they wanted to touch it, and it was something special, they move on to the next. Hands off of it. You know what I mean? Only time they going back to look at it, they rehearsing for a show. That's just that's what a true artist is. If you're an artist, you're going back listening to your stuff, like, unless you're trying to get like some kind of motivation to get you back in gear to what you love, that's understandable. But you're not going. A real artist is not going to be cocky or be too of himself. You know what I'm saying? It's a profession. It's something. It's a passion. So they do it with passion before anything. So Sting is is a true example, man. Sting and Prince. I think these albums we picked, man. When you brought that to my attention, and I went and I listened to that album, man. Because like I told you, I was so used to a lot the joints he did with the Police that I was really a huge fan of, and going back to that catalog, man. Sting is one of those dudes, man. He's one of the artists, man.
Man. He just, my next album from that era that I'm gonna be touching on will be Phil Collins.
Phil,
that's another episode. But Phil Collins, his producer is also Sting's producer. You know what I'm saying? And they share the same studio whenever they're, you know what I'm saying, making music.
I didn't know that.
And yeah. Again, his name is Chad. No. Not Chad. His name is Hugh. Hugh. I see his last name and I can't pronounce it, so I ain't gonna say it.
I seen Hugh. I seen the name in the credits on Sting. In the credits.
And I would say it's like Padam or something like that. Hugh Padam, something like that. Whatever the case. Phil Collins and Sting, man, they share the same producer, man. And they both left rock groups and attained solo careers that were phenomenal. Phil Collins left Genesis and went on to have a monster solo career. You know what I'm saying? Don't want to get too much into it, man, but No Jacket Required was a diamond selling album in the United States.
Right.
So we'll be talking about that. And that's but yeah, man, people be sleeping on England, man. England producers, I'm saying, man, look, this is where some of the hottest R&B is coming from these days too. People ain't saying that, but that's what it is. You know what I'm saying? So
UK has a spirit, man. They stay stuck in what it's about. They mesh. They kind of. I always know that nobody can take that away from
them. They don't veer too far off the track. You know?
Right.
That's the one thing about England, man. Man, that's the reason why hip hop is so deep over there. Why Wu-Tang can go over there, man, and do shows and the show be packed.
Exactly.
DMS can go over there and do a show, it'd be packed. Because they love the spirit, they love the vibe. Here in America, we too flaky as people sometimes. Our love for a certain artist can be, you know what I'm saying, man, something can happen in the media, man, we snap our fingers, we done with it.
Right.
That's just the way we are.
Right.
But it doesn't matter what you do over here in the United States, and they're gonna show you love overseas, baby. That's just the way it is.
Right. They had that spirit, man, when it comes to music. Just even overseas period, but even in particular with UK, where I feel like it's not about, like here in the US, the thing that always continued to grow like an ingrown toenail is the competition. Like you got the competitiveness, but I think the competition, it kind of overshadows just the passion that comes into it, as far as in the aspect of when it gets out there to the people, how it's distributed to the people. So therefore, I think we've, even in the past decade now, like I said, not to go take it from nobody, but just looking at how the game go, because it's all about how the game, how it goes. It's just what it is. It's in the time, it's a cycle, and this is where we at with it. You know what I mean? And it kind of takes away from some of the real artists out there, and the true artists. They got to kind of formulate or go within things, but I think more so now with the streaming and how the internet and everything, the good thing is it opens the floodgates to where it's more of the artists to the people. They don't need no middleman. But the mindset of an artist for the new generation, when they come, they either are able to see it, where they can see how the game goes, where it's like, okay, I don't have to have myself be this way, and I can stick to this, and I still get my fans in due time. Or you got some that see it like it's a success thing or overnight. You know what I mean? It's like more of a fame. It's more of the fame aspect that comes with the package, and they're not looking at the whole package. And we've, once again, this is one of the examples of how U.S. is spoiled and spoon-fed, even when it comes to the music. It's how they leave artists so objective now, to where they kind of really take advantage of letting our artists really evolve and see what they can do and what they can continue to do is special, because the attention span is getting shorter. So every artist that come out now, they dealing with having to consistently come out with projects and consistently come out. This is something that wasn't the norm at the time where we came up on. And it's like a gift and a curse right now. It's a more curse than a gift for the artist.
Right. And man, I'm saying, man, I'm gonna say this one last thing, man, before we get out of here.
Yeah.
because man, like I feel like it's something that needs to be said. Um, when you look at uh, life's rituals, life's valuables, you know what I'm saying? When you look at those things, a long time ago, you know, everything that we needed to survive was right at our disposal. It was like right at the surface. Everything we needed was at the surface. You
Right.
know, gold was right at our feet. You know, diamonds were right at our feet. You know, but soon as we started seeing, corruption in the earth, you know, lies, greed, all these things that happen. You know, now you have to dig for the gold. Now you have to dig for the diamond. You know,
Right.
it's
Right.
the same thing with the music, baby. You know what I'm
Case in
saying?
point. Case in point.
You know, the thing is, man, you know, good music is still being made. You just gotta, I'm saying, it's just not gonna be on the surface no more. You have
Right.
to dig for it.
You gotta
You
dig.
know, and you know, that's why, you know, man, like, I always go back to the digging in the crate crew. You know, they was giving us knowledge back then, man. They didn't even know it. You
Right.
know,
Right.
they didn't
Right.
know that years later you really was gonna have to dig for music that's good. You
Literally.
know,
We literally gotta dig.
you know what I'm saying? You have to dig in them crates or dig online or dig wherever you get your music from to find the jewels. That's what
Sonic.
it's about.
Right. Right. Sonic digging. Sonically digging. Digitally digging. Physically digging. You gotta dig whatever aspect, you know. Shouts out to the record stores that are surviving, the record stores that's still around, like Papa Jazz, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Even the record shops I know in Chicago, there's some of them they're still thriving in the city on the west side and the south side. Just all around. Like whatever, if it's a record store there, I really hope, you know, I pray that that particular community can continue to thrive and keep those things going strong. Cause just
Go back to selling them vinyl.
yeah, the vinyl is, and you know, the vinyl is, it has its own sound. I see a lot of artists they pressing up their stuff on vinyl, and
Yeah.
that's just the fact because vinyl has it's a certain
That's personality, man.
it has its own person.
Yeah, man. You know, because it's the same it's the same song, but it's coming out different. You know, it's being displayed different. It's
Right,
being heard different. But it's the same song that you're hearing on a digital record.
right,
But it just has personality to it. You know?
right, right, right.
And that's why I put that picture up on the page, man. Of the reels. You understand what's coming up? You
I
know,
see that.
that was me. You
Yeah,
know, to pull me off those things when I was young, man. You know, and
right,
then when you know what I'm saying, the 45 was playing, or man, like the turntables was playing, they had to come get me off of that too. You know, because that's where it is, man. That's the music, man.
right, right. And that's every time. And like when I see your picture, or when I see people who have, you know, memories like that, being able to be photographed, that made me wish I had the picture. You know what I'm saying? When I was like 2 years old, and I'm touching. I remember that, you know, certain things in that time, as generations go, a lot of the younger, you know what I'm saying, the youth, they come into the world like they've been here before. But there's certain things that we have in our time that we can remember. And I remember one of my first things doing was touching the 45 of LL Cool J's. What was the joint? Rock the Bells. Yeah,
Oh
it was
yeah.
the 45. And it was on, you know what I'm saying, on my uncle turntable. I remember touching it. And then it was the tape player. You know what I'm saying? So when you can get those certain visuals, you know, I think it's something that even the new generation can really
Yeah,
enjoy
man.
and take it and appreciate
There's
historically. You know what I'm saying?
yeah, there's another picture of me, man, like around that same time, man, like around that same era, where I was sitting on the ground, man. Like I could have been no more than, you know, like a year and a half, 2 years old,
Mm-hmm.
but I was crawling to the reels, right? And then there was a Diana Ross record right there on the floor.
Yeah,
It was a vinyl record, and it was an album called Diana. You saying? And
it's crazy,
I gotta find that picture. But
crazy.
it's profound for me because because that lets me know, man, that my marriage to music started when I was in my mom's stomach, man. Like it didn't happen, when I came out. You know what
Right.
I'm saying? Because
Right.
my mom told me, man, when I came out, man, I was up watching TV, not crying, not doing anything, man. I was just watching TV, you know. And then when the music came on, you know what I'm saying? She didn't have to hear a peep out of me, man. Like no crying, no nothing, because the music soothed me, you
Right.
know.
Right.
So that's how I know that even if I don't even get the chance to become a global musical figure, so what? I became one in my hometown. You know what I'm saying? That
Right.
doesn't matter to me. You
And I
know,
touched, right. He was able to touch
young
people all
folks,
around still.
you know what I'm saying? Folks got the records. Folks know how we came hard with that Run album. Part 2 in the works. So I mean, man, I had to let certain things go,
Right.
but my love for the art and my love for music has never changed. It's never wavered, and it never will. You know what I'm
Same,
saying?
same for me. We can't run away from it. We just kind of find a way to
Find a way
let it
to
fit
roll
in,
with it.
let it fit in with our lives. You know what I'm saying?
Right, right.
Even as family men, you know what I'm saying? But it's just knowing we always had something special that even the people who got to witness it early on, what we were doing and what we continue to do, within timing, they'll come back and be like, "Yo, what y'all got going on? What's coming?" And I mean, I've seen what our music does to people all around, that touch people, even if we weren't in a certain apex or a certain level of success or notoriety yet. You know what I'm saying? And that matters to me more because we know how the game works. We know what it is with music, because even when we look at it from a fan aspect, um, it's every day, just every 5 minutes, just like every minute somebody's coming into the world, or sadly every minute somebody's dying, every minute somebody's witnessing a new song or new sound from somebody, or a new song from somebody who is legendary, or somebody who could be the next legend, or just can touch them and be their legend. They don't have to be everybody else's legend. They could be their favorite. Somebody could get them through their times, and they can grow with and evolve with, to get them through life musically. You know what I'm saying? So that's the special part about it. And I think these two individuals we spoke on tonight, they really, really keyed that in every time consistently. And it all started from the root, from the gut, from their passion to want to bring something that stands the test of time, or at least be close to it, and then let's let it run from there. Just all the artists can do is just whatever they come up with. They get that feeling when they make it, and they know they have something special, and they want to share it with the world. And then that's the main goal. That's the main goal, is to put it out there in the atmosphere, see what it does, and on to the next, and kind of play it from there. You know what I'm saying? So, but I mean, shouts to everybody who came on the check-in. I know we with us going in there, politicking, having this golden conversation every time. It's kind of hard to look down whenever somebody say anything. But appreciate everybody who came in on the check-in. Salute to everybody who's been getting in tune with our group page as well on Facebook for the show.
We got a lot of followers, man. They jumping on, they supporting us.
Right.
We got a lot of people asking questions. Sharing their musical thoughts and loves and passions. And we just want to encourage everybody to continue to grow with us. You know what I'm saying? Be a part of what we're doing. This is not just for us in particular. This is for everybody that loves music. This is what we do. This is what we are about.
Right.
So we're going to make sure that the Shovel Show is going to be something that you could come to on the page, be something you could come to if you want to gain knowledge about something that you didn't have before. If y'all want to give us knowledge of something that we might know.
Let's exchange it. Let's exchange it.
During the stream, ain't nothing in it. All we trying to do is just talk about music, talk about our love for music, make music, and just take it to the next level, man. Because I know my boy Bouie working on some new stuff.
Yeah, man. I found. Likewise, we got stuff going on. It's so many visions and things we working on, but we can't deny us being men of taking our time and bringing something special, and kind of finding a way where it fits in with the times. We come from that where we embrace it, but we still want to keep it one of one, and keep it authentic. Keep it authentic, whatever we're bringing, and it's going to be special. So when it comes to y'all, we don't want to half step. You know what I'm saying? We want to make sure it's very packaged well from the visuals as well. So we getting in tune with that too. So just with the pandemic too, it just makes you reflect and kind of resituate yourself and check, kind of see, because you at the same time as an artist, you want to see how life is going, and how everyday situations and things is going on with everybody in the world. It reflects a whole lot to try to see where you want to take it, as far as if you want to be something where you bringing something that's kind of helping everybody escape, or kind of keep them conscious, keep them focused, as well as like we come from having all that in one. We not about coming one way or having one type of, we focused on one thing. We all about layers when we come with our music. So whether it's still special with something that's still hot, but it still could be something to make you, just it's about that feeling. We want to leave people with that feeling. You know what I mean? And that
Right.
that's who we represent, and that's what we represent even on this show, as far as whatever artist that we're gonna speak on. So once again, salute to everybody who want to check in. Salute to everybody that's becoming a part of the crew, a part of the movement. If you just getting to watch this, stay tuned. We appreciate you. Continue to show love. Hit us on the comments. Let us know if there's any albums that y'all interested in, wanting to see like what we know about or looking into, or what we can speak on. Brighten our horizons. You know what I'm saying? If it's something we might not even get into, we can go and check it too. It's stuff that I'm going back into, just to even, kind of just get keen on things. But please believe it's got to be timeless stuff. It's got to be quality music. We about quality stuff. Not knocking what nobody got going on, because it's all about whatever you bring into it. You know what you're bringing into it, and look for what will be, you know what I'm saying? What will you receive from it? You know what I'm saying? You know what you're putting in. You get out, you know what I'm saying? What you put in, you know what I mean? So
Also, before we exit the Shovel Show, man, we want to give our thoughts and prayers to R&B singer Jeremiah.
Oh yeah,
COVID-19.
right, Jeremiah.
It wasn't looking good for him, but we believe that God can heal him, that God can get him back on his feet. You know what I'm saying? So all prayers going out to my man Jeremiah, Chi-Town. Let's hold it down for him, yo.
Definitely prayers up for Jeremiah. Condolences to all the artists that a lot of the young rappers that have been killed the past few weeks. Situation, you know what I'm saying? It's something that we need.
Crazy, man. We got to get the peace. The peace out there, man.
Yeah, it's really.
That's one thing I love about Bernie Mac, man. He said, "Hey, I ain't coming for no foolishness." You know what I'm saying?
Right.
That's the bottom line, man. You know, man, we got to cut this foolishness out.
Right.
People are dying out here for no reason.
Right.
We already fought the pandemic. There's no reason for us to be fighting each other. You know what I'm saying?
Right. They just add people to the fire.
I don't care what the beef is.
Right.
What we need to do is we need to sit back. We need to take each other for face value, love one another. That's what it's about. You know what I'm saying? Hate ain't got no business here. So
not at all, especially not in 2020. 2020 should be a real wake-up call of that, where hate should be far, 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 far away from your whole thought process and lifestyle. You know what I'm saying?
If you rocking with hate, you can't rock with us.
That's real.
That's the way we sit it over.
It's all love over here. It's all love over here. We're not about that. We're not about the hate and negative energy. Positive zones over here. Positive. No negative energy, like Nas say. No negative energy. We were speaking that before that. No negative energy.
No bad energy. That's right.
No bad energy, man. No bad energy. So much love. Right. That's the joint. I'm about to go listen to that. Just for that.
Yeah, man.
But once again, we are your host, Poppy Tech Bouie.
Real Talk, George James.
This is the Shovel Show, where we either dig it or we been digging it. So y'all get in tune. If y'all see us on IG, it's every Saturday night, 9:30 p.m. Eastern. And then the next couple of days, we'll get it on YouTube. So for those who don't get into the Instagram thing, y'all can get at us on YouTube. Follow us on the Shovel Show at YouTube. And for the Facebook people, y'all want to get in tune with us even more so on the outside, aside from the show, y'all get at us on the Shovel Show group page on Facebook. Y'all go and look for us and you'll see it. It'll come up. And if y'all got any, like I said, y'all hit us up on our pages on here, DM us information, or if you want to get in tune with us with the comments, comment on the YouTube or comment on the videos. Let us know y'all like the show or what y'all looking forward to, and we take it from there. But like we say on every episode, with our due diligence and with God's undivided permission to let us be able to give y'all another episode, so be it. We'll make it happen. So until then, one love, salute.
Salute.
The Shovel Show, baby.
Check us out next week.
Yep.